Okay, this is our Minecraft world we called How It Works. It was quite a learning experience, I think, for our entire group, but definitely for me. Lots of frustrations and lots of learning and trying to figure out how things work. So the idea was we were supposed to spawn here. We weren't able to figure out how to set a spawn point. Every time we set a spawn point, if we logged out, it would just respawn back to where we were. So anyhow, we're supposed to have our greeter here, and when we click on the greeter, it gives us the information about the world. There's three separate sections. One is about Boolean operators and logic gates. The other one is how a computer functions. And the one that I created was how to use pistons and redstone to create a clock. So then they're supposed to take all of this information, and they are supposed to create their own Rube Goldberg machine. All right, so we got a lot of good feedback that our world was confusing. We had mobs all over the place. We had animals spawning. So we were able to figure out how to turn that off and to get rid of all the animals. And we also set up a wall around the outside of our world so that students couldn't take off and go to different places and get lost in the world. So we've got the four main paths set up. The first is the white path, and that goes to the computer. The second is the blue path, and that goes to the logic and Boolean gates. The logic gates and the Boolean operators. And the third is the redstone clock. And finally, the purple carpet leads to where there's space available for students to create their own Rube Goldberg machine. Okay, so the purpose of our game is for students to be able to examine a model of a machine within the context of a game that the kids are already comfortable playing. So rather than having to conceptualize ideas of electrical circuits and machines or looking at 2D drawings, students can interact with the machines within the game, manipulating them to investigate the flow of energy and the interaction of components. Okay, so if like the redstone clock that I tried to create, basically the idea is for students to get some redstone. Oops. Students to grab some redstone. And then they apply it here and here. And it starts the piston array working. And they're supposed to follow the signs. Fly over and see how the pistons. So okay, so you see the piston array at work here. And the idea is when the wool is there, it conducts. With the glass, there's not a conductor, so what it should do is it should follow the flow of energy and should come around. It should make adjustments to the clock. Now the clock is not working perfectly, so the idea here is to have students have a look at the array and see if they can figure out how to fix it to make the clock count from 0 up to 9. And when I reflect on how this is the part that I was responsible for, when I reflect on how this went, I think it's much too complex. It seemed like a good idea when I started, but I think it's a little bit way too complex. But I had invested so much time in it that I couldn't stop. I couldn't come up with anything else. So I guess I'm optimistic that maybe someone who's used Minecraft a lot would still be able to figure out how to use this, and would still be able to figure out how to apply this in their Rube Goldberg machine. Okay, so over here we've got the logic gates. So there's a student guide that presents options for not, or, nor, and the different Boolean operators in the logic gates, and students will interact with this part of the world to try to understand those concepts. Okay, and then moving over here, we've got the different parts of a computer. There is the different signs that talk about the different elements of a computer. This basically gives them the idea of how the system works. You get a bird's eye view to see the different elements. And finally, when they get complete all that, they can apply what they've learned to create some sort of Rube Goldberg build within the space allotted. There's lots of space for them to use over here. A little bit of open exploration and a little bit of problem solving through the game of Minecraft.